In these trying times, it is important to take care of ourselves, especially if you are involved in activism. It is a great way to prevent burnout. No, I don't think that this means that anybody should be turning off the news completely, but it's okay to take a phone break in the evening, do some skincare, read a book, go outside, take a hike, walk your dog, because in fact, rest, joy, partaking in your hobbies are forms of activism and resistance when paired with other forms of activism. And you can learn more about being an eco-activist in this video. So here are some ways that I indulge in self-care without sacrificing the planet. This is my zero-waste self-care routine. Hello everyone, it's Emma and welcome back to my channel where I talk about all sorts of things zero waste, focusing on free, easy, and fun ways to live low waste and ways that we can all in fact be activists. If I talk a little bit too fast for you, I am working on it. There is a gear icon though right down here where you can change the speed of the video to something that better suits you while I learn to talk slower, hopefully, maybe. So this is basically how I do zero waste self-care and zero waste hobbies. First is skincare. When it's time to settle in for the night, I love to shower, do my skincare, and wind down for the evening, but I do a lot of this in the morning as well. Starting with one of my new favorite brands, Rebrand. Honestly, this is my sign to get some refills because I ran out of her stuff a few months ago and I should restock. But anyway, after eyeing this brand for literal years, I finally bought the Travel Minis during Black Friday last year, and I was immediately obsessed with how eco this product is and how well it works. Aubrey is the founder and she is a cosmetic chemist, so these products aren't just thrown together willy-nilly, they are very intentional and work so well. And honestly, I was never a skincare girly until I tried her serums, her oils, and her creams. And I also paired this with a face roller that I bought years ago, not necessarily from an eco company, but it was small and locally purchased, and I have been using it ever since. I don't use it terribly regularly, but it is very, very nice to use every now and then. As well as my Leaf Dermaplaner. I'm a big fan of dermaplaning to get off gunk off my face, little hairs, whatever I want to get off my face, but usually they are like this. They are single-use disposable. Not anymore. Now I use Leaf's reusable one. All you have to do is change the blade every few uses, and they even have a blade recycling program. I highly recommend this if you want to reduce a lot of bathroom waste. And speaking of exfoliation, when it comes to exfoliating in the shower, I have been trying and loving Floofa. It is a 100% natural loofah-based loofah, which if you didn't know, loofah, the sponge, is a plant. It is a gourd that looks like this. It dries out and it turns into the loofahs that you know and love. I love the shape of a floofa for holding it, the cotton loop that it has for hanging it up, and how well it exfoliates while also not being too harsh. In the morning, I cannot forget my sunscreen, and I have been using and loving Baba Botanicals for literal years. But ever since I started my little skincare journey, thanks to Rebrand, I've been using sunscreen every single day, and it's always been Baba Botanicals. I love their face stick for easy grease-free application in the morning, but their paste is great for all over body coverage. And they make other bathroom products like shampoo, conditioner, and body wash. Now, I'm not much of a makeup girly, but I do put a little bit onto film so that I can be camera ready. So here's some of my favorite eco makeup brands. So for the actual like base layer, I don't really know makeup terms, so sorry in advance. For my base layer, I use Axiology's Foundation. It is a mushroom-based foundation. I don't find that the coverage is great for my entire face. It can be a little bit cakey, but I do think the color is perfect for me for like covering spots. And then I use a setting powder / powder foundation. I don't really know what it actually is. I got it secondhand, totally unopened. It was secondhand unopened, and I still have plenty of that left, so that's what I've been using for my foundation. For mascara, I've been using Zara & Co. for over a year now, and I'm not going back to any other mascara, to include eco mascaras. It is so eco and it is the cleanest, like the most mess-free, I mean. I also use Axiology on other parts of my face. They have a shape stick for contour. I got some color on my lips, a little bit of their color on my cheeks. They have multi-purpose sticks that you can put anywhere on your face for any sort of kind of makeup. And then I find that Axiology and Zara & Co. are just like very, very basic makeup, which is fine because we all need basic stuff. But if you want something a little bit more fun and exciting, definitely try Fat in the Moon. I love their highlighter, but they also have very, very fun colors for eyeshadow, for drawing on stuff on your face, whatever you want to use it for. Those are my 3 favorite brands. Moving on to oral hygiene, because yes, I consider this self-care. I had 10 cavities filled in winter 2024, so this is a regular part of my everyday routine, morning and evening, and I've become very religious about dental care, and here's how I do it in an eco-ish way. I've kind of fallen back on the eco part of my oral hygiene because I'm way more interested in getting no more cavities than reducing just a little bit of plastic waste, especially because going to the dentist is also extremely wasteful and expensive, right? So I would rather create just a little bit more waste in my bathroom than I was a couple years ago, then reduce that waste and end up getting a bunch of cavities, which just creates more waste. Anyway, I am a big fan of floss picks, but I hate how much waste that they cause, so I have been using a reusable floss pick for years. I'm on number 3. They're not the most durable things in the world. My first one was from Quip, and I loved that one to death. Literally, I broke it because I used it so much. It was so easy to refill. It was so easy to use. It was such a good reusable floss pick, but they no longer make it. I have no idea why. It's so frustrating. So then I switched to Etsy. I found one that was 3D printed plastic on Etsy, which I do not love because it is 3D printed. It cracked very easily several times, and it actually just broke beyond repair the other day, so that sucks. I only had that for, I think I got it around last summer. And then I'm on number 3 now, a metal one, which is great because it is more durable. It's a little bit more eco, but I don't love it because when I'm flossing, I have really, really tight teeth. So when I pull the floss down or have to push it up, it hits the other side of my tooth, right? Like if I'm flossing on the up and I pull it down to get it out, I have to use so much force because my teeth are so tight that it hits my bottom teeth. Jarring, it's a little bit painful, and I'm scared I'm gonna break my teeth. I might go back to Etsy and get another 3D printed one and just hope that they have worked on their design and maybe it's a little bit more durable now, because I also like that design a lot more than the metal one. So this helps me reduce a lot of floss when they work correctly. I also use a bamboo toothbrush when I have to buy a toothbrush, but I'm still using a toothbrush that I got for free from the dentist and I'm gonna use because it was free. But yeah, moving forward, I will go back to buying bamboo toothbrushes. I'm a big fan. I've been using a bamboo toothbrush since the beginning, as I think a lot of us start to do. Yeah, moving forward, I will still keep the plastic toothbrushes from the dentist because it's always great to have an extra. We put extra ones in our emergency kit, and it's also great if somebody comes to visit us and they forget a toothbrush. If we get sick and we need to throw out the toothbrush because it's too germy. And lastly, some eco-ish toothpaste. I don't like toothpaste tabs, and I don't want to hear about your favorite brand. I won't like it. And that's okay. It's okay that I don't like your favorite brand. It's okay that I don't like your favorite swap. I do not want recommendations for your toothpaste tabs. I don't like them. Thank you. Anyways, I'm a big fan of paste, and I have tried so many different brands of eco toothpaste that you can check out down below. I don't love that most of them are owned by mega corporations. I wish that I could find a truly small one. So if you have a small brand toothpaste in a tube that is recyclable tube and contains fluoride, my standards are high, okay? I would love your recommendations because plenty of tubes are not recyclable. They are a plastic metal combo, so a fully plastic, or even better yet, a fully metal tube is the best. And I'm a big fan of fluoride. I am personally not adverse to the misinformation. It is proven to be safe for humans, so I'm gonna keep using it. So for now, what we have access to at our local store is Tom's of Maine, Hello, and I think we have one more, but they're all owned by mega corporations, so seriously, drop your small brand recommendations down below. All right, let's move into my eco hobbies. After I've done everything from above, my skincare, my dental hygiene, all of that, it is time to get off my phone for the evening. I need to do better about this. As a content creator and a consumer of content, it is very easy to be on a camera, on my phone, on my iPad, on the computer all day long. So I'm trying to be very, very intentional about limiting my phone use. I try to read while I'm eating lunch. I try to read before bed. Dan and I watch shows together. We've been going on walks in the evening. It has been great. But one screen that I allow myself to use in the evenings is our secondhand Nintendo Switch. We have been using it and loving it for a long time. From Zelda games to Mario games to indie games, I've tried a whole lot. And honestly, it's one of my favorite ways to spend a winter because, you know, it gets dark at like 5 p.m. What else do I do for the rest of my evening except for play video games? I'm not really on there a whole lot this time of year, but I'm sure once winter rolls around again, I will be back on my video game grind. And when it comes to buying new games, I opt for digital. I'm also a huge fan of reading, and I do this in an eco way in a few ways. I shop from secondhand bookstores to include online, places like thrift books. I use the library to borrow physical and audiobooks. I look in free little libraries. I shop secondhand locally, and I also check out my local indie bookstore too if I need something new. So our bookshelf is chock full of eco books, and I like to spend my time during meals and before bed reading some of my books. Not only am I a big fan of fiction books, but also nonfiction because I think reading is a great way to learn. Particularly, I do a lot of nonfiction on audio because I can get through them a little bit quicker. So you can check out my list of eco book recommendations right here, and also right here on my website. I'm sure you've also seen in recent craft and yap videos, I'm a big fan of crocheting as well. Especially when paired with an audiobook, it is a great way to pass the time, learn some information, and busy my hands. When looking for yarn, I opt for secondhand, once again, shopping small and choosing natural fibers. Or I also upcycle things into yarn, like what I'm currently working on that you have seen sneak peeks of is a t-shirt rug. I have been turning t-shirts into yarn and creating a 5th rug. So even hobbies like crochet, it is a hobby that makes me continuously buy stuff in order to create more stuff. You can still buy stuff in an eco-friendly way and also use what you have. But if you are looking to buy some yarn from eco-friendly yarn businesses, I highly recommend Darn Good Yarns and Knit Picks. Knit Picks is more focused on creating brand new yarns out of brand new materials that are eco-friendly, like hemp and cotton, but Darn Good Yarns uses upcycled materials to make new yarns, and they are just so cool. I found them at a small yarn store in South Dakota on a road trip, and I looked them up online, and I fell in love with their entire business. They are just so cool. A very simple hobby for me is just walking. It makes it much easier that my dog also loves to walk, so we walk him, I walk him, 3 times a day, which is great for me. It gets me out of the house, gets me out of my office chair, gets me some exercise. I get to go outside and observe the plants. I love walking. Not only do I walk for fun, but I also walk for purpose, I guess. We live in a very walkable community for the first time ever. So we walk to the movies, we walk to swing dancing, we walk to the bookstore, we walk to dinner. We walk just about everywhere that we can within walking distance. Otherwise, we bike second, and in the last resort, we drive. If you're looking for more benefits of a walkable community, you can check out this video next. Another light hobby that I have dabbled in for a long time is gardening. I had a little tiny garden balcony when we lived in Japan. I really didn't do a whole lot of gardening when we lived in Las Vegas because it was way too hot, and I didn't garden when we were in an RV. But we once again have a balcony, so I've been trying to garden, and I just grew my first yield, 4 green beans. I got a strawberry start on Earth Day, and it looked so good, and it even produced a vine. Not really a vine, it's called a stolon. I learned that in botany class this year, and it produced 3 flowers. One of the flowers must have gotten fertilized because it turned into a berry, but it never ripened. It was just a green berry. And then the stolon died. The plant is still thriving. It grew a whole new stem with 3 new leaves, no flowers. It might just be too late in the year, but the good news about strawberries is they will stay alive all year long. I think they might only just produce in spring. I've got a couple herbs out there. I've got oregano. I've got basil. The basil's really sad. I've got sage, and we've got mint. Plant mint only in pots. I will take every opportunity to say that. It is highly invasive. Do not plant mint in the ground. And I got 2 green bean starts in botany class. We were observing them to see the different sizes of plants as they grow. And they're like, all right, once you're done with the lab, go ahead and compost those. I'm like, can I take them home? They have roots. They're like, yeah. And I put them in soil, and they're growing. And I have 4 green beans. So all that to say, I'm not very good at gardening. It is a fun experiment. It's really just good to go outside and touch dirt and have some fun. And my last hobby, my newest hobby, and my biggest hobby, I think right now, is swing dancing. We started in November 2024, and I low-key hated it because you have to touch somebody who is a stranger. Everybody's a little bit sweaty. Sometimes people are stinky. The music is loud, and it's all improv. There's no choreography for social dancing. So it did take me a while to warm up to it. I went to several classes. I finally got the hang of it. I think once I learned the basics of the footwork and the music and everything like that, it really became more enjoyable, and now I love it so much. Also, the people we dance with are just so fun. They are welcoming. They are such a warm community. It has been so fun to get to know people, exercise, listen to jazz music, move my body. I love dancing so much. And if you want some more inspiration for how you can eco-fy your hobbies, check out this video next. If there's anything you need to know about me, it is that I love a sweet little treat. Whether it's a drink or a meal or a pastry, I love to eat, I love to drink. So here are some ways that I make it more eco. Immediately upon moving out of our RV, we knew that we needed an espresso machine, so I found one secondhand, paired with locally roasted coffee that we also get at the refill store, so it's plastic free. Our coffee routine has become quite eco. We've also been trying out the almond cow to further reduce our coffee and milk waste, and it's practically zero waste over here. Also in our little drink bar, Dan got me a soda maker a couple Christmases ago, and it is made in my small business in Scandinavia made out of wood pulp. I make our own syrups out of food waste. My most recent one was made out of cherries that were a little bit squishy. So now we can have zero waste soda at home as well. When I go to cafes, instead of making coffee at home, I make sure to bring my own containers and coffee cup to get zero waste coffee and zero waste pastries. I'm also a big fan of tea at home, so when I'm shopping for tea, I make sure that it is loose leaf or the bags are made out of 100% paper. Paired with our secondhand electric kettle and my locally made mug, it is very, very eco. And also just simply going out for food with friends. Whether it's grabbing sushi before going swing dancing or having a summer solstice barbecue, it is so fun to gather with friends, exchange food, do some at-home karaoke, play some games, and just simply be in the presence of those around you and just chat. It is a great way to build community, strengthen relationships, and provide human connection, which is important now more than ever. Our next category is health, because self-care is definitely about mental health, but it's also about physical health as well. And for me, self-care also means not sacrificing my health for the planet. For example, Dan and I got some head colds a few weeks ago, and I had no hesitation walking to the grocery store, getting some lozenges, getting some medication, most of which came in plastic, and I had no regrets about, because the sooner that I get better, the sooner that I can take care of the planet in bigger and better ways. But here are some ways that I take care of my health in an eco way, starting with my heating pad. It is reusable, and I got it secondhand. I like this one for long-term use like cramps, sore muscles, and things like that, but I also have a short-term use, reusable heating pad as well. It's like a heating bean bag. It's made out of food waste from cherry pits from a brand called Cherapy. You simply just put it into the microwave, heat it up for 30 seconds to a minute, and you have a short-term use heating pad. This is great like if you're falling asleep and you don't want to fall asleep and like get burns because you had a heating pad on too long. I also like this for my arthritis because I don't need a lot of heat to help them out. So I love both of these eco options. Reusable ice packs are also very handy. Now, I think this is mostly what people are going to be using at home as a reusable one, but maybe you are using the ones at home that you like crack and shake kind of like a glow stick. I would highly encourage you opt for a reusable one instead. My loop earplugs have really come in handy. I have chronic migraines. I am very sensitive to sounds. Really just was never a fan of using disposable earplugs. I don't think that they're very comfortable and I didn't like the waist idea. So once I actually got my loop earplugs, I started wearing them more frequently, which greatly reduced my migraines. I really wish I would have started wearing earplugs sooner. C'est la vie, sous-le-vous. Now I have reusable earplugs. Now my migraines have gotten a little bit better when it comes to noise at least. And yay for reusables. And lastly for health is reusable tissues. No matter how sick we get, reusable tissues will always come in handy. Save so much money. We have 2 different sets. Technically, they're all in one pack now. But we have a brand new set from Bodhi. I have been using them for at least 3 years, maybe even 4 at this point, and there is no turning back. They are soft, they are durable, and it is a great company to support if you don't want to make something yourself. But I have also added some to the collection that I have made out of old t-shirts since I use them so frequently. This is a great free DIY or a great chance to support an awesome small business. Alright, we have a few more in the miscellaneous category. I'm not the world's biggest fan of candles, but when I do burn candles, they are definitely Everly. They help me reduce waste via their refill kits that I can add to any old candle jar, and their scents are natural, which don't give me a migraine. And their kits are made out of bioplastic. They are a fun way to relax and have a little DIY without all of the waste. But if I am looking to like add some scent into my home, usually we do this like while we're cleaning. We have been using plastic-free incense. I have been able to get these at my local natural store, totally plastic-free. When I'm not online, when I'm not doing in-person activism, I try to do stuff that is just simply fun. And that includes going to local events, festivals, farmers markets, and things like that. It was honestly really difficult to go out when my migraines were much worse than they are now. Plus, I've never lived in such a tight-knit community that celebrates anything and everything. Everywhere I have lived has had like a city or a town or a county or even like a state events page. And that's how I found out about all the different things going on. Like in June, that was how I found out all the different prides that were going on in all of our towns. So look for an event page near you. And kind of similar, kind of different is just going to the farmer's market and browsing. Sometimes I'll go with like, you know, the mission of getting food to cook with that week. Sometimes I just want to go get a fun beverage. Sometimes I just want to go get my little basket of strawberries and eat them all on the way home. But truly, it's just so fun to go to the farmer's market, enjoy the sun, enjoy the company, check out all the local vendors, and see what's available. And lastly, truly, I don't know what I would do without Eco Lip Balm. Other than sweet treats, this is something I cannot live without. I need to have perfectly hydrated lips in order to function. And I used to create a lot of plastic waste with this habit, but no longer. My current favorites are Sustain Yourself, Blue Heron Botanicals, and my favorite that is eco but comes in plastic is Tahoe Hemp Company. You can learn more about my favorite eco lip balms in this video. So that is all for now. That is my personal eco self-care routine, my self-care items. I do some of them every day, some of them on occasion. You get the idea. Let us know about your low-waste self-care routine down below. And let me just take a moment to thank you for being an activist. Thank you for being involved. But please don't forget to take care of yourself. The better that we take care of ourselves, the better that we can take care of the planet, the better that we can take care of our neighbors. So don't forget to take time to unwind. Don't forget to take time to yourself. Self-care can be radical when paired with other forms of activism. And if the word activist scares you, you think, oh, I could never be an activist, I don't take to the streets, etc., 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 I would encourage you to challenge yourself and watch this video to see if maybe you're more of an activist than you originally thought. So just remember, it is okay to put your phone down in the evening. It is okay to put your phone down for a weekend. It is okay to take a step back from your local activism group for a little bit. Please remember to come back. Please remember to stay engaged as much as you can. And remember that there are many of us fighting together and we can do this together. Thank you so much for watching, especially if you made it all the way to the end. I truly appreciate it. I will see you in the next video, but until then, remember that your small actions make a big difference in the long run. Bye guys. Check the white balance. Oh, that's better. Makes me look slightly less pale. Hooray! I did it. And this is basically how I take care of myself. This is basically how I take care of myself. So this is basically how I take care of myself and do my hobbies in an eco... I should have filmed myself getting ready. My roots are to my glasses. Roots. They're not even roots anymore.
Well, that sucks.
But I'm sure once winter rolls around.
Tells my story.
You could have done so much more if you only had time. What's the word? Improv, I think. I'll see you in the next video, but until then, remember, I don't even really know where I messed up.